The Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. Those are the names drivers and fans have given to Darlington Raceway for more than 7 decades. And even today, in the era of simulation models, wind tunnels, and razor-thin margins of speed, Darlington remains one of the most unforgiving tests in all of stock car racing. The oldest superspeedway still holding NASCAR's top series, Darlington opened in 1950 with the inaugural running of the Southern 500. Built on farmland in rural South Carolina, the track's famous egg-shaped layout came from a simple request from the land's original owner. He wanted to keep the minnow pond, so the track was built around it. More than 70 years later, that quirky design still defines the challenge. One end of the 1.36-mile oval is wide and sweeping, the other tight and narrow. A car set up perfectly for turns 1 and 2 won't quite work in turns 3 and 4. The fastest laps come from compromise, from drivers willing to flirt with the outside wall, often earning the infamous Darlington stripe. And when it comes to legends of this place, 2 names still echo louder than the rest. Dale Earnhardt conquered Darlington 9 times, mastering the razor-thin margin between speed and disaster. Earnhardt once said, "You never forget your first love, and there's no victory so sweet as whipping Darlington Raceway." But the king of the Lady in Black remains David Pearson. The smooth-driving Silver Fox won here 10 times during the 1960s and 70s, outsmarting both the competition and the track itself. Today's drivers still chase that same mastery, balancing speed, patience, and courage in a track that refuses to be tamed. Today, another chapter is written at the Lady in Black. It's the IROC Challenge Series, Lady in Black 125, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Darlington Raceway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, bringing you race number 8 of the IROC Challenge Series on a tape delay. We got race 9 coming up here on Tuesday, but we got to get this one taken care of. A little travel this week to kind of screw up the schedules, but here we are. Going to run this one for you in its entirety and going to do it like it's live, as Bill O'Reilly would say. Let's take a look at the race details tonight. 125 laps the distance, 75% fuel on board, 4 tire sets available over the wall, no fast repairs, a pit road speed limit of 45 miles per hour, and at the end of the day, 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish, if so necessary. Practice and qualifying already in the books. Warm-up session underway right now here at the Speedway. Zach Millett fastest, a 30.108. Adam Benefiel, Steve Durbin, Goldfield and Terzak rounding out the top 5. Couple of stream chatters already this Saturday afternoon. Zach Millett in the chat says, TLN during the day, hell yeah. And of course, Tommy Janikowski, not missing a beat. Doesn't matter when we run these things, he's always here, at least cheering us on. Tommy, thanks for being a part of Track Limits each and every race. Just about a minute and a half left in this session. This is the warm-up. We'll get right into our race session here for 125 laps momentarily. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right to it. Sponsors, got to take care of those guys as well. Fast Laps, Open Hearts, Meff's Shirt Shop, Coles County Speedway, the primary sponsor of tonight's race, R&R Racewear, Johnston Timbers LLC, 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, and Care for Kids. Of course, it is the Lady in Black 125 presented by Coles County Speedway. Darlington Raceway, established in 1950. We're still running here today. Upcoming races. Take a look here at the schedule. Darlington today, and again, a short couple of days. Today being the 18th. This ran live originally on the 14th. But April 21st, this week, Michigan Speedway. That's going to be a fun one to watch, especially in this B car. 125 laps, 250 miles out in the Irish Hills. Then Charlotte on the 28th. We take a break for one of the breaks. May 12th, we'll come back for the Alabama 266. May 19th, we'll be at Bristol. The 26th in Vegas. Then off to June 2nd, Meff's Shirt Shop 175 from Phoenix. 3 Wide with DJG 200 at Pocono. Then we close the season out at Homestead, Miami. Fast lap's 175, but we pepper in the All-Star race at Atlanta Motor Speedway on the 5th of May. So they don't do it for the warm-up session. That means only one thing. We're time to go racing. We're going to get to our starting grid here in just a moment. In fact, we'll take a look at that right now. On the pole position with a lap time of 30.002 seconds, a lightning-quick lap for the Team Conti driver, Zach Millett. Outside front row, last week's winner, 2025 Tour Modified champion Austin Beers missed it by 35 thousandths of a second. Row number 2 will be Christian Strader and Adam Benefiel. Row 3 goes to Brian McCann and TJ Majors. Row 4, Garrett Johnston and Jesse Sperling. Row 5 belongs to William Tyndall and Slade Minish. In the 11th spot, it's Evan Vecchia. Chuck Sweeting will roll off in the 12th position. 13th starter, it's Neil Quick. Brent Butler will be 14th. Kyle Hardy, 15th. Steve Durbin starts in the 16th spot with John Cofield and Josh Mears, 17th and 18th. 19th and 20th is Adam Pettit and Gavin Hinson. 21st, Devin Aker. Kyle Terzak, some work to do tonight. He'll start 22nd. Jason Nilgis, 23rd. Old Timmy Schofield, 24th. Chris Quick, 25th. Christopher Harrison will start in the 26th spot. Kyle White, 27th. Matt Kopp, 28th starter tonight. Mike Koch will start 29th. Cameron Brownlow, 30th. 31st, Matt Mormon. Old Doug Wysocki, 32nd starter tonight. Dylan Pettis, 33rd. Shane Haas, 34th. Craig Bristol will be 35th. Chris Wally deep in the field in 36th. And shotgun on the field tonight in the 37th spot. It's the 16 of Marty Lindley. Your starting grid here from Darlington Raceway is the field already rolling out onto the speedway. One pace lap will be green flag racing in just a moment. Tom Janikowski, I subscribed. I know what you're doing even when you don't want me to. Love it. Race details in case you missed it. 125 laps the distance tonight, just about 170 miles. 75% fuel on board. 4 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs. Count them. 0, zip, zilch. And pit road speed limit of 45 mile per hour. And 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if so necessary. Got Mike Murray in the chat. Let's go Brownlow. We're going to find out who does what here in just a moment. Field off turn number 4. Pace car coming to pit lane. Green flag about to get us underway here at the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame. Who will tame it tonight? Beers gets the lead, gets the jump down into turns 1 and 2. Millett will follow suit in the tire tracks with a run. Takes a peek to the bottom there, but no room to make anything happen just yet. Beers might have scraped the wall off turn number 2. Millett to the inside, in 3, takes the top spot back. Big separation already just after 1 lap. Millett takes the lead back from Austin Beers. 3/10 back to the number 64. In third, it's Adam Benefield and Christian Strader. TJ Majors, the top 5. One driver out of shape. We'll catch exactly who it was. Low side of the racetrack. Josh Mears slow off turn number 4. Correction, turn 2. Very slow, very off the pace here for the number 36 machine. Not sure what happened there to Mears, but he's still under power. Back out front, still Zach Millett, Austin Beers, Adam Benefiel. Pretty much single file all the way to the back here. Adam Benefiel with the TCSP colors on board today. Again, tape-delayed broadcast. A lot of these drivers racing every day of the week, so they may have a different scheme loaded up today, as this broadcast will pull from trading paints on the day of it. Not necessarily going to display the colors that will run on Tuesday. So if you see something that looks a little funky, like the wrong number or a different color scheme, that would be why. watch Neil Quick running in the 12th position, up one spot, running in behind Chuck Sweeting. Jesse Sperling making moves here underneath William Tyndall for position. Slade Benish in the number 93 in behind Tyndall. As Sperling's got some speed here, really putting distance on the 62. Then again, that just could be tire savings out of Tyndall. Benish will go to the inside here on the 62. He'll take that spot. So William Tyndall maybe really aggressively saving some tire here at the Lady in Black. That's really the way to do it at this place. Got to take care of the tires. Yes, they do have 4 sets over the wall for these 170 miles. But you got to be very careful about when you bolt those tires on. You don't want to get stuck without a fresh set later on in the race. Billett continues to lead and continues to increase his advantage over Austin Beers, now 3/4 of a second. And it's Adam Benefield, Christian Strader, and Majors. Not much changing there in the top 5. Brian McCann outside looking in the 6th position with Garrett Johnston to the back bumper. A little step out of the 15 off turn number 2 as they roll down the Boeing backstretch. Sweeting and Slade Benish battling for the 10th or 9th and 10th positions. Slade's got 9th right now. Tyndall continues to fall back. He's lost 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. He's back in the 12th position behind this group, and he's going to lose some more as Neil Quick now up alongside. Kyle Turzak up 7 positions. Big mover so far. Only 11 laps in here at Darlington. Turzak started back in 22nd, now into the top 15 and looking for more as he's looking to the inside here on William Tyndall. Will have the spot. Tyndall's got to be saving something here. That's the only explanation I have. He's usually decently fast. Scrapes the wall just a touch there. It's now the 17 of Evan Vecchia will set his sights on the back bumper of the 62. Seems a few drivers did not take the green flag ultimately here tonight. That was Craig Bristol, Shane Haas, Marty Lindley, and Dylan Pettis. So a 33-car field here tonight at Darlington. Brent Butler in the number 76 running 18th. Now Jason Nilgis there in 20th. Nilgis in the 88 machine, brightly colored. Number 88. Actually, not as brightly colored as the 81 of Steve Durbin. That looks like that came right off the Jurassic Park paint palette. 88, though, almost looks like it could have a Texaco Haviland scheme all over that. Put it closer to the Ricky Rudd scheme when he ran that car. Tyndall continuing to shed positions, now down 8 spots. I don't know if this is just too aggressive on tire save right now. We'll have to keep an eye on the 62 and see how this one plays out. One driver very loose. Couple drivers behind them loose again. And I think that might have been Josh Mears a second time, collecting maybe another driver in Chris Harrison. Durbin and Tyndall for position. Oh, Tyndall loose again. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's actually a savings thing, if Tyndall just having trouble getting the handle underneath him. Ooh, Durbin has to check up there. Really early entry there for the 62. Really backing things up. Surprised Durbin a bit, almost getting into the back bumper. Had to jump on the binders. Now, folks, you'll see it at the top of the timing tower. It's no surprise. It shows 127 laps the distance. Now, given that this is a replay file, it will load that in based on how many laps were run in this session. So it does appear, so stay with us. It's going to get interesting at the end of this. But it does appear that we did have to add a couple of laps, and that means only one thing. A green-white checkered was used. Koch trying to take a spot from the 4 of Chris Quick, almost getting into the left rear. Just inches to spare. Gavin Hinson and Brent Butler battling for position. Hinson just had a moment there, kept it going straight, and now back to the inside of the 76 with Evan Vecchia in the 17 next on the list once he gets clear of Butler. But here comes Nilgis. Thought about making it 3 wide. He's not thinking, he's doing it. 3 wide now for these guys. Nilgis way down on the apron of the racetrack. Slide job up in front of Butler and a crossover from the 76. Very aggressive move, especially how early it is as Hinson pounds the outside wall off a 2. Mike Koch, a little crossed up. He'll lose a couple of positions through this. Matt Mormond in the 60 will go around. Hinson around Vecchia, so move Gavin up into the 16th position. Turzak, meanwhile, still fighting his way forward. I gotta wonder if Kyle just had a moment there in qualifying, didn't lock in a great lap, because he's been quick right out of the gate, up 10 positions now. Got some clean air up in front of him, empty racetrack, but Quick right there with him. About 2.5 seconds back from John Cofield. Great battle here just outside the top 20. Brett Butler 21st. Tim Schofield 12th. You see Durbin there as well. Butler's fallen back now to 22nd as he loses the spot to the 81. Oh, big trouble. Cars around. Mormon in the fence. Caution on the speedway. Mormon and the 96. Devin Aker. Car still trying to scatter here and avoid. Smoke pouring out of the back of both vehicles. Some pretty heavy damage for both of them. That's not good, but our first caution of the night here at Darlington Raceway for Matt Mormon and Devin Aker coming together. Pretty heavy damage on the front of the number 60. You see smoke coming out the back, left front tire not turning at all, so he's going to have some work to do if his night is not already done. So a big lead that Zach Millett had of over a second and a half erased here. Our first yellow at Darlington between Matt Mormon and Devin Aker. So 25 laps complete just about here at Darlington. Curious to see who is going to come to pit lane for that first set. Again, they only have 4 to work with. 127 laps ultimately will be the distance today. We'll see. Looks like Millett's going to come on down, and everybody will follow. Millett slides to a stop. Just about perfect entry. A little bit deep in the box, but fair game. It's going to be close on exit between Beers and Millett. Benefield's going to get out first here with a 2-tire stop. Millett will win the race out compared to the 64 of Austin Beers. We've got to move Adam Benefield to the race lead here with the tire strategy. The only one in the field to go with just rights. Adam Benefield hedging his bets here. You know he's got the ability. He's got fast race car. He's got talent. We'll see if he's going to have the grip. Might just be a bit of an experiment for Adam Benefield. So quickly we are on the 1 to go. So next time by, we'll be back. Green flag racing. Front row will be Adam Benefield, Zach Millett. Millett restarting on the outside. Then Austin Beers, Christian Strader in the second row. Then Brian McCann and Garrett Johnston in the third row. Wave around cars getting caught up. Pace car heads to pit lane, ready for the restart. Beers takes a look to the inside, right at the drop of the green flag. Millett loses some ground here, will also lose the second position. It's Beers now to the second spot. Millett working the outside, though, has a nose in. Benefield closes the lane from the 64, but Austin gets clear of Millett off turn number 2. Oh, big wiggle from Adam Benefield with the race lead. Beers tucked up a little bit close to the back bumper of the 83, loosening him up considerably. This could be just a combination of rights only and a little bit of aero loose. Adam hangs on to the top spot for now, but real loose up the racetrack. Opens the door for Austin Beers. Looks like Millett's going to chase the 64 on through. Now side by side with Benefield as they cross the stripe. Millett to second, Benefield back to third now. Strader closing from fourth, and Brian McCann rounding out the top 5. So last week's winner, Adam Benefield, out in front. Real loose for both drivers off turn 2. A couple more behind. McCann had a moment, so did Chuck Sweeting, as now McCann's to the inside of Christian Strader for fourth. Battle for the lead. Millett taking a peek to the inside. He was the fast car initially, had all that clean air, and was driving away from Austin Beers in that first run. Still runs in second, in behind. Beers driving it very deep on entry, whereas Millett backing up the corner a little bit. See Zach will pull back to the back bumper here on exit. It's a little bit closer. Now the other way around. Zach drives it deep into 3. Big run off of turn 4. Millett looks to the inside. Oh, close quarters. Battle behind these guys, Benefield and Brian McCann now fighting it out for third. Remember, Adams out there on new rights only. Everybody else went with 4. I got to give it to him, though. He's doing a decent job hanging tough into the top 5 with just one right side set put on. And look how loose that car is off of turn number 2. McCann will have the run, takes advantage, sticks the nose to the left rear. Now into turn number 3, side by side for the third spot. Benefield with a high line, a little more momentum, able to stick with the 3 of McCann. Brian still can't quite get it done. While this battle continues, the top 2 are checking out. Now McCann's got the spot. Strader's going to try and follow him through. Kyle Turzak now cracks the top 5 for the first time today, but he's got TJ Majors looking to the inside. Majors running 6th, right where he qualified tonight. Front battle, top 2, Austin Beers, Zach Millett. About a car length or less separating these two. They've got almost 2 seconds back to third place at this point. A lot of that, the battling with McCann and Benefield, and Turzak hanging it wide off of turn number 2. Right rear just sliding out of the corner. Benefield now sitting in the 10th position, feeling the consequences of rights only. It's a curious decision to make as we see Turzak jump out of line here, thinking about making a move on Strader, but thought better of it. Might just be trying to get in the rearview mirror of the 29 to force a mistake. But going back to Benefield, you just got to wonder what the decision was made or why it was made in that instance. To try and take rights only this early on. Qualified fourth. He already had decent track position. Yes, he picked up the lead, got some points for doing that. But in the long run, this is a relatively short race compared to a full-length Cup race or even a full-length O'Reilly Series race. 127 laps. Leaves them a set of lefts over the wall, but I don't know how beneficial that will be later on in the race. Still the battle continuing with these top two. Zach Millett seems like he's the faster car right now. In fact, last laps, he was within half a tenth of Austin Peers. We'll go on board. Oh, almost contact there into turn number 3. Is a lap car or soon to be lap car just ahead of these drivers, about the length of the straightaway down the road. Zach may want to just ride in the tire tracks of Beers for now and let them catch that lapper. See if he can take advantage with some traffic. Matt Mormon is officially out of this race. Looks like Devin Aker still on pit lane, potentially trying to effect some repairs on his number 96. If he could get it back out on the track, he could pick up another position on Mormon. It's Mormon listed 32nd, Aker listed 33rd. Neil Quick running back in 17th. Chris Quick in the 4. Now Chris is laps down here, running at 31st. Neil Quick recently getting past the 17 of Evan Vecchia and moves Neil up into 16th now. William Tyndall battling with Kyle Hardy, 14th and 15th. Tyndall jumps to the inside. Tyndall takes the spot. Hardy might have scraped the wall there for a brief moment. Man, everybody loose off of turn number 2. Watched a little Days of Thunder this morning on AMC. Remember, don't pass on the outside of turn 4. Well, to sum things up, since that movie came out, this track has been reconfigured. So what was then turn 4 is now turn number 2. So bear that in mind. Seems to be the difficult corner for these guys right now. Vecchia trying to go after Neil Quick, and a little bit of contact with the 2. Roots Neil up the racetrack. Meanwhile, back up front, not much has changed with our top two. They're still separated by about a tenth or two. Beers continues to lead, but Brian McCann has cut their deficit down by over half a second. It was about 2 seconds, not too many laps ago. Now we're about 1.2. Christian Strader a couple of car lengths back in P3, running right with Brian McCann, see if they can run the leaders down. And again, Millett takes a peek to the inside, able to hang with Austin Beers. Battle in behind TJ Majors, John Cofield, Garrett Johnston. Johnston in that gray and green number 15. Cofield to 58 on the bottom. TJ in the familiar number 6. Relatively clean race up to this point. We've had one caution. Technically only 2 laps. I don't know how accurate that is. I think it was at least 3. But we've had one official lead change. Millett led the first section of this race, first run, and since the restart, it's been Austin Beers. Kyle Turzak still running in 5th as he spanks the wall off turn number 2. Turzak, our biggest mover tonight, 17 spots gained so far. So we watch TJ Majors and Jonathan Cofield battle it out. This for the 6th position. Oh, up the racetrack, has to lift. Garrett Johnston almost gets into the back of Cofield. Everybody gets away unscathed, at least for now. Majors will get clear at Cofield, now wiggle behind him from Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting just ahead of Gavin Hinson. See if Hinson can take advantage of that little mistake out of the 75. I gotta wonder here if Chris Wally, in doing all these paint schemes, if his intention was to use colors that we would all associate with past Cup Series schemes. Looking at Chuck Sweeting here, if you take the IROC Challenge Series decals off of this and drop DeWalt on it, I'll tell you, that looks like a Kenseth scheme if you ask me. I'm gonna say it's probably by design. Gavin Hinson could almost take some of the red striping off of that one and throw Skull on the side, and you got a Rick Mast color scheme. Yes, I'm dating myself. Christian Strader, we said this a bunch. Just drop a Reese's on the hood of that thing, and there you go. Kevin Harvick even matches the number. Meanwhile, Mike Koch has had a problem out on the racetrack. He sits in pit lane now. They'll go a lap down as the leaders will flash by to start lap 55 here from Darlington as we approach halfway. Top 4 all in the frame now. Beers, Millett, McCann, Strader. And a little ways back in 5th, Kyle Turzak, now just getting off turn 4. So 3rd and 4th have run down these top 2. I just got to wonder if Beers is just trying to control the pace right now. They're running almost identical lap times, Beers and Millett. 32.67 for Austin the last time. Millett ran a 68. But behind him, McCann and Strader running a 56 and a 55. 10th plus quicker than the leaders as Millett takes a look to the inside. Millett's got to see McCann coming up behind him there, knowing it's, okay, I got to get clear Austin here somehow, because in clean air, we saw it in that first run, Millett was really able to build an advantage and a major gap back to everybody else. Jumped out to about 1.7 seconds prior to the caution. In traffic here, in behind Austin Beers, doesn't quite have enough, it seems, to get by the 64s. Millett now gets the fence, McCann got up underneath Zach Millett there, pulled the air off the spoiler, got him loose. And now we'll try and take advantage to steal the second spot from the 31. Back down to the line. Oh, a little bit of wiggle there out of Brian McCann. Has to settle back in behind Millett. Great racing here now at the front of the field. We saw it with Millett and Beers, but now Beers starts to check out here. 4/10 the advantage back to the 31. McCann's going to back off a bit. We build up another run to run down Millett for the second spot. Strader still in tow of Brian McCann in fourth. Terzak runs fifth. Terzak's lap times, a 32.87 the last time by. Now runs a 76, quicker than the entire top four ahead of him. Terzak still has a little left in the tank, might just be saving something here. Majors and Johnston side by side. Majors top of the racetrack, keeps a nose stuck to the outside of the 15 off turn 4. Tough spot, a little loose for the 6. We'll tuck in behind, crosses over. We'll try and set up a pass back into turn 1. Don't know if he's got the momentum and not the space. So Johnston gets clear, takes the 6th position from TJ. Cofield back in 8th. On board with TJ Majors. Back out front, Millett has caught Beers again. Half a car length off the back bumper. Zach can drive up there, it seems like any time he liked, but as soon as he gets close into that little bubble there, loses the nose. You see it right there, Austin drives away. Now exiting the corner though, Millett drops it real low and just a few inches off the wall. Millett wants to go here, looking now to the outside, not enough momentum to get to the right side of the 64. Little cross up with Terzak in the background there. Garrett Johnston now battling with him. And Millett takes the spot as Beers had a moment off turn number 4, got real crossed up, so goes from the lead back to 4th, and now the battle behind them for the 5th position. Terzak has it, but for how long? Just about halfway here at Darlington Raceway. Will be halfway as soon as they cross the stripe. Coming back down to the line. Pole sitter Zach Millett leads him out of turn number 4 at the cross flags. He will be the leader, which means we're going to step aside here, get a quick track limit side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Darlington Raceway, the battles continue here at the front of the field. Millett still leads, but Strader has got something left in the tank. He's gotten clear around Brian McCann for second and now battling with Millett for the lead. Oh, Strader, though, in trouble. Real loose in the middle of the corner. Millett bounces off the wall. Strader back in the gas and hangs on to the second spot. Incredible save by Christian Strader. How that wasn't our second caution of the night, I'll never understand. But back at the whip, Strader alongside Millett for the race lead off of turn number 4. Last lap, Strader was just a tick faster than Millett, 200ths to be exact. Oh, awful close. Strader has to check up, lost the nose. Meanwhile, Austin Beers has all but disappeared from view. I don't know where he ended up. Strong and leading this race, but now he's back in 26th. Appears to be laps down. Did he make a pit stop? He did, just after we went to the break at lap 66. Austin Beers on pit road. So he's going to be running quick here, but he is still a lap down. 2 laps down, to be specific. May see the leaders start to pit here soon. I think if Millett finally gives up the lead here to Strader, you may see the 31 come to pit lane. Real loose again, Strader top of the racetrack as he does go around the outside of Zach Millett. New leader coming to lap 76, it's Christian Strader. Wow, Strader just checking out. TJ Majors, though, on pit road. So it's going to be about that time. Slade Benish also in the pits, as well as Jason Niles. So green flag stops finally underway here at Darlington Raceway. Millett back to the lead as Strader comes to pit road. Garrett Johnston, Jason Niles. Niles leaving while Johnston's coming in. And here come the leaders again. Millett, McCann, slow into 3. Oh, real loose for Zach. Almost turns it around. So that'll send the 58 of Jonathan Cofield to the top spot. Sweeting second. Theo Quick third. The last three drivers that need to make a green flag pit stop. Millett trying to usher Steve Durbin out of the way. As McCann comes to rest at his pit box. More tires and fuel for the three. Thank you to Brian McCann for providing tonight's replay, clearly. Zach Millett, 4 tires and fuel back out in action. Terzak will get around the 31 here. So now from the lead, the top 3, the rest of them will come down and finish up this green flag pit cycle. Cofield, Sweeting, and Quick. That'll cycle Adam Benefield back around to the race lead. He made his stop about 10, 11 laps ago, lap 68. This time bolting on 4 fresh tires. Austin Beers now getting a lap back in the 64. Or is he? So Beers in 24th now, 1 lap down, but right there. Starting to wonder if something more happened there with the 64 of Austin Beers to lose 2 laps during that pit cycle. I don't know if he had a problem, if he lost the race car, but still out in contention. Needs to get a lap back, though, and caution would do him well right about now. Beers, the first car, 1 lap down. So Benefield making his stop earlier, lap 68. Christian Strader was lap 76, so he does have a tire advantage as he almost gets into the 17. Looking at the lap times, though, he's 0.2 a lap quicker than Benefield right now, so it will just be a matter of time before he can run him down. Hopefully he can do so, or the tire wear kind of equalizes between those two. Take a look at the pit strategy. How far everybody went on a tank of fuel or a set of tires. Benefield short pit a little bit, 42 laps on his set. Was able to get him back out into the race lead. He's 13 laps on this set of tires now, but then Christian Strader in second, he went 50. Johnston went 50. Majors was 49. McCann went an extra, went to 51. So did Terzak and Millett, really stretching the fuel. Butler was short pit at 43. Cofield 52 laps, which might just be enough to make it to the end of this race without taking on any more fuel. Tires, though, that's a different story. Chris Cook up the racetrack as Strader gets clear. Johnston running in third. Majors right there in the tire tracks in fourth, and it's Brian McCann. Further down the line, Kyle Terzak and Zach Millett. Having Vecchia getting into the wall there again. Vecchia a lap down. Chuck Sweeting, Adam Pettit side by side. This is for the 12th position, the 11th position. Sweeting around the outside will hang on to 11th. Pettit now with pressure from Tyndall up the back bumper. in the way here. Off to the inside. I think it might be Matt Kopp in the 22. Kopp just got into defense about a half lap ago, and he does it again. Majors and Brian McCann, 4th and 5th. And Austin Beers still in the mix. Just needs to hang on to that. Well, he was in the lucky dog spot, but now Brownlow is taking the position. Or gone down a lap. Cameron Brownlow, the first car, 1 lap down if we get another yellow. Chuck Sweeting trying to get himself back into the top 10. Slade Benish in the number 93. Trying to prevent just that. Brent Butler in 9th, just ahead of these two. As Chuck jumps out of line here, looks to the inside in turn 3. Will have the spot. Textbook pass for the 75, so moves Sweeting now into the top 10. Meanwhile, things have changed rapidly at the front of the field. Benefield had a big lead on Christian Strader, and that has all but gone away. Strader there, 10th off the back bumper there, looks to the inside, may have position into 3, and he does. Dives it down, throws the car to the bottom of the racetrack. Strader with the fresher tires will make short work of Adam Benefield, so move the 29 back to P1 here. His lap 90, 91 that is, goes up on the timing and scoring. Strader looked like he had a little bit of an issue there with 34. Doug Wysocki. Doug jumped to the bottom of the racetrack after, gave more room to Strader as the leader. Garrett Johnston now will take the 2nd spot from Benefield. Jesse Sperling getting out of the way of the leaders. Strader's got a real strong car. I don't know if he found something in the early running of this race, because he has been lights out fast through the mid portion of the Lady in Black 125. Strader continues to lead now over Garrett Johnston in 2nd. TJ Majors now to 3rd. Terzak looking to the inside. Brian McCann. Oh, almost some contact. Terzak awful close to the left rear of that 3 car. Back to the main straightaway. One caution tonight, that is all. Only one so far. 94 laps of 127. Had 7 lead changes tonight as Christian Strader continues to lead. If you watch Brian McCann put the pressure on TJ Majors for the position. Little door banging off at turn 4. Majors hangs on to 3rd. Turzak and Millett have now come together. So here is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Majors, McCann, Turzak, and Millett. Benefield now has fallen back to the seventh position. Strader, Johnston, the top two. Strader with a 7/10 advantage over Garrett Johnston. But Millett all over the back bumper at Turzak there. Thought they were going to make a little contact. Meanwhile, Brent Butler on pit lane. Possibly the final stop for the 76. Two drivers here, four drivers side by side. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. We watch McCann try to make short work of Majors. Struggling a bit. Millett can't get clear at Turzak either. Dirty air really becoming a problem for a lot of these drivers here tonight. It seems whoever can get out front has a significant advantage. Oh, the four, Chris Quick in trouble around, not completely, saves the race car, keeps it straight, but almost disaster for the four. May have been initiated by some contact, but Chris will continue on and we stay green. 30 laps to go for Christian Strader. Will there be one more pit stop to be concerned with? Can really hear all that throttle work. We'll turn the sound up here. Take a listen. Oh, trouble. Caution on the speedway. Chris Wally and Jason Nilgis appear to have come together. Nile just facing the wrong way here at start-finish, so caution number 2 on the speedway. It's been a very clean race up to this point, but Wally and Nile just coming together at start-finish. Caution is out. Well, that'll set us up for pit stops. I cannot imagine anybody staying out here. Last pit stops were made at about lap 76, so they've gone about 25 laps on this set of tires, and here comes Strader. Now, we saw Adam Benefield opt for right sides only earlier on. I don't know if we're going to see that with these guys here. We saw it didn't really pay off for him. Yes, it got him some track position, but the lack of grip quickly erased that. Just a handful of laps. I think it's going to be 4 tires and just enough fuel, if any, for all of these drivers. Fuel might be preferred for some, maybe to change the balance in the race cars. Majors misses the pit box, has to swing out over Johnston, has to back it up. He'll lose some time in that exchange. Millett in the number 1 pit box, a couple of back. Christian Strader. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel. No, is it Millett with right sides only? Did not expect that out of the 31 of Zach Millett. We saw teammate Adam Benefield do it earlier on, and it did not help him very much. We'll see if Millett can hang on. Frankly, I think Zach would have been okay with 4. He would have been out first. Michael Murray in the chat says, take advantage of your lucky pass, Brownlow. Finish strong. I believe Cameron Brownlow was indeed the lucky dog. We'll see if that gets applied. But a very interesting turn of events here at Darlington Raceway. Millett had a strong race car, but wanted to get out into that clean air in front of Christian Strader. However, Strader took 4. I honestly think Millett could have gotten 4 done and beaten the 29 out. Given that number 1 pit stall, all he had to do was dump the clutch and get across that pit exit line. He would have restarted as the leader on 4 tires. Now he's going to restart as the leader on just fresh right sides. Only about 26 laps on the lefts, but that was almost identical to what Adam Benefiel had in that first pit stop. It got him the race lead in doing so, but he was not able to hang on to it for very long. We'll see if Zach can fare any better. Pace car lights are out, so we're ready for a restart already. Half a lap away here from Darlington. Pace car is in. Green flag. 25 coming to 25 to go, or 24 to go. Little tire spin in the back here. Tyndall scrambling. Millett gets out to the early jump, and now Brian McCann will go around the outside, and there's trouble behind the leaders. Caution on the speedway. Steve Durbin involved. Durbin straightens it back out. Looks like Neil Quick got a piece of this as well. But very quickly, another caution. Now this does bode well for Zach Millett. Caution coming out really quickly. More caution laps, the better for the 31 with the strategy that he's going with here with right sides only on that stop when nobody else did. Millett with some wins already in the bank early on this season, so I guess he's got a little bit of room to play with. He can afford to gamble here. He's trying to get another win. Of course, he'd love to pick this win up here at the Lady in Black. But I don't know. I know clean air has been very important here tonight. I still don't think it's more important than the 4 fresh tires. Because if you can't hold those guys off, then you're in the dirty air with only clean right sides. And then the problem compounds itself. Don't know if Millett's still in the chat watching the broadcast. He checked in early. But Zach, if you are still in the chat, why don't you jump over into our Discord here at Track Limits and we'll have a little chat while we're under caution, if you're willing to do so. No spoilers. I'd just like to pick your brain. So no real takers on this caution as far as the pit stops go. Austin Beers and Brent Butler did take the opportunity to come down and get a fresh set of tires. Here's Jesse Sperling the same. Beers now back on the lead lap. Back in 19th, but trying to salvage what he can. We're ready for another restart. Pace car lights are out on the 1 to go as the field works through turns 1 and 2. Pay window is open. Strategies and driver aggression. increased. Front row is going to be Millett and McCann now. Millett opts to take the outside lane for the restart. Pace car comes to pit road. Here we go. Side by side out into turn number 1. Millett with a nose out in front, way up the racetrack. Maybe a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Off turn number 2. Millett slipping and sliding out of the corner. Oh, trouble again. Did they straighten it out? I think they did. I think Chuck Sweeting was 3/4 of the way around and straightened the car back out. We stay green. Millett hangs on to the top spot, coming back down to start finish. It'll be 19 laps to go. Now Garrett Johnston up into the second spot. Millett doing okay, hanging on to the race lead here with right sides only on the last pit stop. Garrett Johnston, though, has also shown a lot of pace here in the latter stages here at Darlington. TJ Majors always going to be difficult to keep behind you as you get closer to the end of this race. Is Majors in a position where he can challenge for this win. He's got Brian McCann and Kyle Terzak. McCann restarted on the front row, but he's fallen back to 4th. Battling in behind, Adam Benefield, Christian Strader side by side in contact. Strader saves the race car. What a save for the 29. And door banging Adam Benefield in the middle of 3 and 4. Now Tyndall to his inside. They're 3 wide with Terzak on the bottom. No, that's Gavin Hinson in the 39. Back out front, Garrett Johnston steps out of lanes. Looks to the inside for the race lead on Zach Millett into turn 3. 17 laps to go from Darlington. Millett inches to spare, gets clear of Johnston, and there's the caution. Not sure who we have here. Tim Schofield in trouble, puts us under yellow for the 4th time. Schofield will tow back to pit lane, so we're going to line it up again. More caution laps here. This is just a benefit here to Zach Millett, but Garrett Johnston was coming in a hurry, was strong there, got alongside Millett, was unable to complete the pass. I guess that's that clean air that Millett was hoping to have to his advantage. But man, Johnston is quick in behind him. I don't know if Zach's going to be able to hold him off. So we're back on the one to go. Can Zach Millett hold off another restart now with Garrett Johnston restarting to the inside? Zach's going to need to fire off in a hurry. Johnston, on the other hand, is going to need to really time this perfectly if he wants to keep a fender alongside the 31. Johnston can get up alongside Millett and keep it there. He's got a chance. Pace car is in. Millett with a good jump. Oh, some cars in trouble, and Adam Pettit's hard in the wall. Big wreck into turn one on the restart. We saw Adam Benefield get a little crossed up. I don't know if he got shoved or spun the tires, but very quickly the caution back out, one after another. Cautions breeding cautions here at Darlington Raceway. Adam Pettit appears to have gotten the worst of it. This just falling right into the hands of Zach Millett. And meanwhile, Brian McCann on that restart, able to take the second spot from Garrett Johnston. I don't know if that makes things any better for Millett, though. It's Johnston or McCann. Either way, you've got someone who can easily take this win away. Durbin, Mears, and Becky are going to come down and pit. Others will follow. I think a lot of these drivers all getting a piece of that crash that put us under our fifth caution tonight. $117 in of 127. Millett is your leader. Had 5 cautions now for 12 laps and 7 lead changes. Getting ready to settle this here at Darlington Raceway. Lady in Black 125, presented by Coles County Speedway. And I got a feeling we're going to see more tempers flaring and tire smoke billowing before this one's all said and done. The last handful of restarts are any indication. It's been a little chaotic here in Darlington. Millett's going to take the top again. Going to put Brian McCann to the inside. Row 2 will be Garrett Johnston and TJ Majors, then Kyle Turzak. And look at William Tyndall. Remember how we thought he was saving too much early? Well, he's making it work. Pace car is in. Matt Kopp just ahead of the leaders there is going to try and get caught up. See if that comes into play. 10 laps to go. There'll be 9 to go at the line. Kopp slows down. The bottom of the racetrack might be too slow. This might draw a caution if we're not careful. I think we got away with it. Durbin now drops to the low side, but Millett takes the lead into turn number 1. McCann will settle in behind. Johnston on the low side alongside TJ Majors off turn number 2. Johnston and Turzak now side by side. Eight laps to go for Zach Millett. Can he hold off Brian McCann? Top 3, Millett, McCann, and Majors. Turzak in 4th, Johnston in 5th. They're all relatively single file. Then it's Tyndall and Strader. Strader's looking to the inside. It'll be 7 laps to go the next time by. Last lap, Millett a half-tenth quicker than second place Brian McCann. I guess that clean air really working for Millett. McCann now takes a look to the inside in turn number 3. Millett will drive up the racetrack. McCann keeps it there, just inches off the left rear. Off turn number 4, crosses up in front of Majors. Majors crosses over now alongside McCann as there's 6 laps to go. Now Majors behind the race leader Millett. These guys had a little bit of bad blood spilling over from last week. Will Majors use the bumper here to pick up the win? And now Turzak into Johnston. They both straighten it out. Majors takes a look to the inside. Up the racetrack, uses them up, and they're both in the wall. Majors goes up the racetrack into Millett, and the caution is out late. McCann will inherit the race lead. Or does Zach hang on to the lead? Very interesting. So caution is out here late. This, I believe, is going to send us to our green-white checkered attempt. We have up to 3. This will be our first. We knew TJ wasn't going to give Millett any favors. We're side by side rubbing doors in the middle of turn 1, I believe it was. Majors washed up the racetrack. Zach was to the outside and in the wall. TJ ended up getting turned there. He went around, but Millett somehow is held on to the race lead. Let's try and get a look here. 31 car doesn't seem to have any damage on it whatsoever. Right side looks clean, left side looks clean. Very interesting. Well, guys, I'd love to go back and show you that replay, but we are on a tape-delayed broadcast, so we're using the replay file. And unfortunately, if I go back to the replay, the only way to get back to where we are present, quote-unquote live, is to fast-forward it. Because if I hit the live button, it'll just take me to the end of the replay file itself. And then we won't get to see the rest of this race. Now, the question is for Zach Millett. Obviously, physically, the body looks okay on that car, but is the suspension still straight? We'll try and jump on board here while they're down the straight, see if his wheel is crooked at all. He's going to take the top here for the restart. That's a little offset to the left, but that really just could be the steering offset in the setup. Doesn't look terrible. Even if it is, I think Millett can drive through it. But will it be as fast as it has been? Again, He is still on old left side tires compared to everybody else behind him. It's going to take some work. So TJ Majors shown back in the 18th position after that incident with Zach Millett, going for the race lead into turn number 1. Here we go. It'll be lap 125. This would have been the final lap in regulation, but our first attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Pace car is in. It's Millett and McCann on the front row. Millett takes the outside. Good jump by Brian McCann. Timed it well with Zach Millett. They're into one, but he's clear. Side by side for second. Johnston to the outside of Brian McCann. Turzak runs fourth, and everybody pounds the wall off turn number 2. Millett getting away is second and third side by side. 31 off turn number 4, looking for the white flag. There it is, final lap from Darlington. Johnston gets clear of Brian McCann, moves him up into second. Christian Strader into the wall. He pounds it pretty hard, but keeps it going. Another pound by Kyle Turzak. He's flattening the right side of that race car, but in the second spot, it's Johnston. Third is McCann. Fourth, Turzak as they roll off of turn number 4. Zach Millett looking for the checkered flag. There it waves. Checkered flag, win in the books. The Lady in Black 125 goes to Zach Millett as Austin Beers spins across start finish. Big slide for Millett. SVG style, celebrating the win. Made the 2 tires work. Unbelievable. Turzak jumping in there to say his congrats. Kyle Turzak lightning fast on the late model stock series in the short track ranks. Getting his feet underneath him here in the B car at Darlington. Turzak gained 18 spots to finish 4th here tonight. Just a little kiss to the wall underneath the flag stand, and that'll do it for the celebrations for Zach Millett, picking up yet another win here in the IROC Challenge Series. A thrilling fashion, to say the least, but that's going to do it for us here at Darlington. No interviews tonight, unfortunately, but wow, what a finish we had to close out this one. Tape-delayed broadcast, so it's only going to be a few more days before we're back here live at Track Limits Network Tuesday evening in the IROC Challenge Series. We're going to be here at Michigan Speedway for the Charity Motorsports 250. 125 laps the distance. That's going to be a fun one. High banks, high speed, drafting, more dirty air to worry about. So tune in for that here this week. We've got more action, though. Monday night, a new league jumping on board, the 4Wide Motorsports Late Model Stock Series in action here at Track Limits Network. That'll kick off, I think, about 8 p.m. Eastern Time here at Track Limits Network. And then the return of the 0X Strategy Series. They, unfortunately, a little bit of a conflict between IROC and 0X as far as scheduling was concerned. They also run on Tuesdays. I can't be in 2 places at the same time. So 0X graciously agreeing to run a tape-delayed broadcast for them each and every week on Wednesday evening. So things busy here at Track Limits. We just wrapped up the PSRA Open ARCA Series on Sundays, so that night has gone empty for a little while until they come back with the PSRA Open Truck Series. That's coming up here relatively soon. I believe that kicks off in June. So we're going to be 4 nights a week back at it here, Sunday through Wednesdays at Track Limits. So tune in for all of that action. Congratulations again, Zach Millett picking up the race win here tonight. Let's take a look at the results. Of course, it was Zach Millett picking up the victory. Garrett Johnston, man, he is going to be in contention for wins every single week. Won't be long before we see the 15 in victory lane. Ryan McCann was third. Kyle Turzak, there's another one you got to keep your eye on. We talked about his prowess on the short tracks. He's learning this car quickly. Went from 22nd starting position tonight to finish 4th, so keep an eye on the 56 this season. William Tyndall was 5th. He was kind of a sly cat out there tonight. Took care of his stuff very early, was around for the finish. It takes home a solid top 5. Slade Benish, seen a lot of this out of him this season as well. Not really a factor most of the night, but when it matters, he's there. Top 10 in 6th. Christian Strader led laps, dominant for a while. He'll finish 7th. Gavin Hinson was 8th. Chuck Sweeting was 9th. Kyle Hardy finishes in the 10th position. Brent Butler comes home in 11th. Cameron Brownlow wraps it up here in the 12th position. 13th went to Austin Beers. He was fast as well. He led some laps. I don't know if he had a problem on a pit stop. He went down a couple of laps, but hung in there, as we've seen him do a lot this season. Still salvages a 13th place finish. Chris Harrison finishes in 14th. 15th was Neil Quick. 16th went to Matt Kopp. TJ Majors, after his late race incident going for the lead, will finish in the 17th spot. Got to be frustrated for the driver, the number 6. Jesse Sperling was 18th. 19th was Josh Mears. Kyle White, 20th. Doug Wysocki, 21st. Evan Vecchia was 22nd. Chris Quick was 23rd. Steve Durbin, 24th. Adam Pettit, 25th. 26th went to John Cofield. Adam Benefield, 27th. Timmy Schofield, 28th. Chris Wally, 29th. Jason Nilgis was 30th. 31st went to Mike Koch. Devin Aker, 32nd. Matt Mormond was last in 33rd. 104 laps down. The bottom 4 drivers, Dylan Pettis, Shane Haas, Craig Bristol, Marty Lindley, did not take the green flag here tonight. I'm not sure the situation there. I think we had plenty of room for all of them to run, but that was all she wrote for them. So 34th, 35th, 36th, and 37th for those 4 drivers. Thank you guys again for tuning in on this Saturday afternoon edition of Track Limits Live. The Lady in Black 125 in the book. Congratulations to Zach Millett, taking yet another win here in the IROC Challenge Series. Thank you guys all again for tuning in. Glad to see everybody in the stream chat. We'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks for watching.